discussing the Game 4 matchup going on tonight between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. As you guys know, the Indiana Pacers won games 3 and 4 to even up the series at 2. Over the course of the last 2 games, 3 and 4, New York has struggled with ball movement, and they have struggled with getting penetration against this Indiana defense. I don't necessarily believe it's because Indiana is doing anything different defensively. It's because that New York has stalled offensively. And that could be, you could say it's schematics, but I believe it's more so fatigue and wear and tear on the body. And then obviously they lost OG Anunoby in Game 2, and I don't know how likely it is that he will return for the playoff for the rest of the series. But as I was watching Game 3 on Friday night, you could the atmosphere and the feeling around that game was that New York needed to win this game, because if they lose Game 3, they're going to lose Game 4, and that's exactly what happened. These Tom Thibodeau-led teams, dating all the way back to Derrick Rose back in 2011, have always broken down at some point in the playoffs, and that's been consistent. That is a consistent thing. That is a consistent MO for Tom Thibodeau-led teams, and there has been no change in his rotation. And I get it. Listen, you are gonna die on that hill. You're gonna go with what got you there, but you have to be willing and able to make adjustments, not only as a coach, but also as a leader. Because now it just you become stubborn, you become bullheaded. Hit Tibbs' approach to coaching in this aspect of not increasing the rotation. I mean, he's stubborn as a bull, no pun intended. And we saw what happened when he was with Chicago, with Minnesota. And now in New York, the same thing's happening. You see Josh Hart, I think, only had 2 points, if I'm not mistaken, in Game 4. And that's not because they're doing anything differently against Josh Hart. It's just that Josh Hart is playing 48 minutes a game. Josh Hart has not set, up until Game 3, Josh Hart had not set at all a single minute in the series. And that, I don't, these are the best players in the world, the most physically gifted and in shape players in the world. I don't care how in shape you are, how physically gifted you are, your body's going to break down with that usage rate. And the same thing's happening with these New York Knicks. And New York is capable of beating Indiana without OG Anunoby, but it's going to take a collective effort. It's going to take Deuce McBride playing more. It's going to take Alec Burks playing more. It's going to take the rotational pieces on New York. It's going to require them to get more playing time. And also, I believe the brother's name is Prince Achunwa. He provides energy. With rotational players, you're not measuring them, you're not gauging them on their statistics, you're gauging them on their energy, and that's the energy that the New York Knicks need to beat the Indiana Pacers, because the Indiana Pacers is a team that goes 10 deep, that goes 9 deep, because they get up and down the court, and people are going to we're making a lot about the way Indiana blew out New York in Game 4. But listen, Indiana shot 65% from the field, made 14 threes. I mean, listen, how often is that going to happen? That very rarely is that ever going to happen, and that you just chop that one up as a loss. But I think Game 3 is a better indicator of what direction the series is going in. Because now what starts to happen is the ball isn't moving as much, it's sticking in Jalen Brunson's hands, and quite frankly, everyone that has the ball in New York, it sticks too much in the ball movement, and you're not causing defense to rotate, and you're not creating scramble motions for the defense. So now they get to stand pat, because they get to stay in help side and recover more frequently, which leads to more difficult shots for the offense. And if Tom Thibodeau is not going to use his rotational players New York will lose this series. And I know I predicted New York to win this series in 6, but if Tibbs doesn't make any changes, then he will cause New York to lose this series. Eventually, you have to be willing to make adjustments. You have to be willing to make changes in your approach and your demeanor and how you view things, because your stubbornness will lead to your destruction, will lead to your downfall. And I'm not going to call it pride, because it's not pride. It's just being stubborn. You're ignoring the facts. You're ignoring the statistics. You're ignoring the results. And if Tibbs doesn't make adjustments, doesn't make changes, New York will lose this series. And it will be because of Tom Thibodeau. Make no mistake about that. Yes, they have a lot of injuries. Yes, Bojan Bogdanovic is hurt, and Julius Randle is hurt, and OG Anunoby is hurt, and Mitchell Robinson is hurt. Yes, I understand that. But New York was in prime opportunity to win Game 3 with all those injuries. So you cannot tell me that it's because of those injuries that they lost the series. No. They're losing this series because Tibbs isn't making adjustments. The players are hurt because Tibbs isn't making adjustments. That's the issue. That's the reason. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Will Indiana win Game 5? Will New York win Game 5? I can guarantee you this. I know I predicted New York to win this series, but whoever wins this Game 5 tonight, that is who will win the series. And not only will they win the series, they will win it in 6 games. Whoever wins this game tonight will win the last 2 games of the series. So I know I predicted New York to win in 6, but if Indiana wins tonight, Indiana will win this series in 6 games. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Share your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear all about it. But with that being said, guys, in our next segment, we're going to be previewing another Game 5 matchup between the between the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back.